Bro, what kind of question is that? What if Godzilla was real? Let's see. We would not be alive. I'm thinking the overwhelming majority of people on this planet would go extinct. Like, we don't want to live in that universe for real. I mean, we can, just hypothesize about how crazy it could actually be, right? But we don't want to be in that universe where there are absolutely gigantic prehistoric creatures that have the ability to roam around, walk through the sea, and do all types of crazy debauchery. No, 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 no. We're not ready for that, guys. This is a suggestion via Discord. It's coming from the channel Alternate History Hub. Let's jump into it.
Godzilla is the king of monsters. Having lasted over 70 years, Godzilla has smashed, crushed, and roared his way into pop culture legend. Everyone knows the destruction Godzilla can cause. The destroyed buildings, screaming citizens, entire cities on fire.
Right.
In movies, the result is entertaining. In real life, however, it would probably be less so. Which brings us to an interesting scenario. What if Godzilla was real? What if tomorrow Godzilla rose from the sea and began destroying cities? How would the world react? How would people react? What would be the economic and social effects if this legendary monster wiped out a major metropolitan area?
Guys, I can tell you this right now, based off of what he's kind of throwing at us. I'm gonna go ahead and forecast that all of the countries would not be worried about such meaningless things as having kerfuffles between each other, but everyone will come together to destroy this thing. All right? That's just the reality, I think, personally.
Well, let's find out. Before talking about the scenario itself, we need to clarify which Godzilla we're talking about.
Okay, that can help.
Godzilla has evolved and changed over the years, growing in size and shifting personalities. This can have a drastic effect on how the scenario would work. In fact, for each different Godzilla, there could be an entirely different scenario. But we don't have time for that.
Well played.
So for this scenario, we are going to go with the most recent interpretation.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're definitely not making it.
New 2014 legendary Godzilla. This one stands at around 150 meters, or roughly 500 feet, and is one of the largest incarnations. So this is the one we'll be using for this scenario.
Okay.
For this scenario, we'll have Godzilla attack a major American city on the West Coast, like Los Angeles or Seattle. So Godzilla rises out of the ocean and moves toward the city. For the American public, the initial reaction would be one of disbelief. For the civilian and local authorities, they have no idea how to react to such a situation. A mass panic would ensue and thousands would begin to flee from the shore. Even the stampede could cause casualties before Godzilla even made it into the city. The American military would attempt to subdue the incoming Godzilla.
And fail.
They would deploy fighter jets, bombers, ground troops, and tanks in a battle against the monster. It would literally be war to retake the city and stop Godzilla from continuing forward. However, the United States would realize the weapons are not working, so they would use heavier artillery, so to say. Wherever Godzilla would be, it would not just be the monster civilians would have to worry about, but the military campaign against it too. Killing Godzilla would be the first priority for the US, and in a realistic scenario, if civilians could not retreat in time, they could be counted as acceptable loss. In the most conventional terms, Godzilla is nearly impossible to kill. Not even a nuclear bomb can kill him.
And that's my biggest concern here. Right? So if we attempt to bring Godzilla into reality, obviously the U.S. government is going to try to do as much as humanly possible. And in reality, if we can't do it, then that means no one can. Right? And so I think that's my biggest fear, period. Like, we would just have to leave Godzilla to honestly take over whatever continent it lands on, and just hope that it can't get to us. The reality is that, right? Everyone would be moving. I mean, the social aspects of it would be the overwhelming majority of people would leave whatever region this thing is in because we have nothing that can take this thing down.
Thus, human weapons, for the most part, would be utterly useless.
Right.
With this, it is up to the assumption Godzilla simply rampages through the city. Even if Godzilla is not trying to destroy anything, his sheer size could destroy entire blocks, buildings, and wipe out millions of lives. At the end of the attack, Godzilla goes back into the ocean and disappears. Any military engagement on him would be away from the public eye, and the military battle would move underwater out at sea. After the initial attack, the city's coastlines, downtown, and other regions are in ruins, the population either fleeing, hiding, or left to deal with the apocalyptic destruction never seen before. If, say, Los Angeles is hit, its population is roughly 4 million. If even 10% of the population was affected by Godzilla's destruction, that is still 400,000 lives
That's crazy.
potentially lost. This brings us to the aftermath of a Godzilla attack. The reality that at any time a massive reptile can come out of the ocean and kill you and everyone you love would be a hard one to accept. World reaction to a Godzilla attack anywhere would be one of fear and panic. Any city on the coast can now be vulnerable to destruction. Tokyo, Hong Kong, New York, cities with millions of people are suddenly in the gravest danger. The cultural and social effects would be astounding. First off, all the world religions would automatically have their own interpretations of what Godzilla means. To many, this would be a sign of the apocalypse. Many would worship him as a god or fear him as a demon. North Korea would probably say they created him. The world economy could be put in
North Korea, along with Eritrea, basically the same places, guys. But let's continue.
jeopardy as stock markets across the world plummet. The idea that important goods on the coast could be wiped out in a day would not lead to the most stable trading markets. With shipping on the coast at risk, businesses could lose product, and thus investors would not want to put money into something that could be so vulnerable and destroyed. Economic investment would flee from coastal cities and into landlocked states and regions. Global superpowers would meet to discuss how to deal with the monster. Even though their weapons would be pretty much useless against Godzilla, that wouldn't stop them from trying to kill him. Thus, the world would unite against the monster. United States, Russia, China, UK, all working together to hunt down and attack Godzilla. Technology would be used to track Godzilla's movements, thus being able to save millions of lives by warding of an impending attack.
Yeah, definitely we would need some type of like early warning system, 100% here, guys. And if what he is saying could come to fruition, I definitely think that some of the largest cities would obviously be inland in many of these places, right? As far away from the coast as you possibly could be under any circumstance.
Even though many more cities would be affected or destroyed, humanity would still fight on. If Godzilla was truly real, nobody would want him alive. The potential destruction he could cause if he existed would leave him to be a far more deadly adversary than terrorism or anything the world had seen before. Once Godzilla rose from the sea, entire military battles would occur in major cities. Battle of Tokyo, Battle of Seattle, etc. If Godzilla existed, it would be a war and millions would die. In war, technology is invested to gain an advantage, and so it is easy to assume humanity would invest in new technology to kill Godzilla.
100%.
What this technology would be and if they could even kill him is up to your interpretation. If humanity is unable to subdue Godzilla with new technology, then the entire aspect of human civilization would be shifted. The coastline would become a hazard to all who lived on it, and thus a mass economic exodus would probably occur in the coast. Those who could afford to leave would leave. In the United States, waves of people would move from the east and west coast and into regions such as the Rockies or the Great Lakes.
And the problem with that is that, guys, we've run from these locations, right? Like, why exactly would you want to live?
Godzilla is not an army or an animal. Godzilla would be...
Wait. Where's that scene at here, guys? Like, so for example, why would you want to live in this area right here? Like, don't get me wrong, I understand there are a lot of people that do live in this region here, but if you are from the coast, you're not really used to what happens a lot here, and that's tornadoes, right? I mean, obviously, if you're living around here now, not here, but here, right, you're definitely experiencing a lot more tornadoes recently, but guys, this is tornado land. Yeah, we will run here, but I wouldn't call that life if you have to worry about a tornado every 5 minutes, bro.
Into regions such as the Rockies or the Great Lakes. Godzilla is not an army or an animal. Godzilla would be like a hurricane, as described in the most recent movie, A Force of Nature. This force of nature would be the number one target for all of mankind. No matter if Godzilla meant to attack humans or not, his deadly potential would make him a danger to all of humanity. Godzilla is a pop culture icon and a legend in the history of film. Yet if he was real, Godzilla would be feared by all of human civilization.
Right, every single person.
How do you think the world would be if Godzilla existed? Like us on Facebook, subscribe if you have not done so. This is Cody from the Alternate History Hub.
Guys, yeah, no, I don't like the idea of this. I don't even like the thought experiment of this. Why? Because it's frightening. Nothing that we can do, nothing that we could do would be beneficial enough to stop something as menacing as this. There's nothing that we could do. So I don't want to think about it. Guys, you let me know in the comments. Do you think that there is a way to actually... Would there be a way to actually take Godzilla down if this was our actual reality? Like, what would you do? Personally, I'd have to go to Middle America, unfortunately. All right? Again, I don't mean to be disrespectful for those who live in this area here, right? But I'd have to go there and just hope tornadoes don't exist there, or maybe build some type of like underground city. Maybe hopefully that can help. Again, guys, because I don't like tornadoes. I've been through one and it scares the life out of me, bro. Like my roof, like parts of my roof came off, bro. All of my windows broke, trees fell down. It was crazy. All right, I have like PTSD regarding these things, guys. I'm telling you. So that's my biggest fear. I don't know, Godzilla or tornadoes. They're about the same to me personally, guys. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.